Hey math kids, today we're going to talk about how to take our data that we created from our videos and put it into Desmos. So here's Desmos, it's just desmos.com, and I'm going to go back to that spreadsheet. I have this column highlighted as well as this column. I'm just going to copy that. So Command C on a Mac or Control C on a PC. If you don't know how to do it on your specific device, just do a quick Google search on how to copy. Okay, so we copied it to the clipboard. Now I'm going to go back to Desmos, go to Graphing Calculator, and I'm just going to click right here and paste, and it creates a table. You can look at all the rows if you really want to, but that's in our spreadsheet. This looks roughly like what's in our spreadsheet. Now, to kind of gain a little bit better understanding of functions, what I'm going to do today is, we know that this is quadratic, it's a second degree polynomial, and so I'm just going to start with y equals x squared. Okay, now if we zoom out, by using two fingers on your trackpad, going up zooms out, down zooms in, we can see that, okay, we got this curve that looks kind of quadratic and this big curve that looks quadratic. Now, they kind of have the same shape, but obviously they don't line up very much. So the first thing we want to do, we want to put a negative sign out in front, and that at least flips it over. So now we have two parabolas that are upside down. Okay. Now, what I like to do, I like to look where the maximum is right here, somewhere around here, and then my maximum on this one is right here, and I want to try to shift it up to that. So we just go to the outside, we look at this point, I don't know, it's about 13. So that means we need to add 13 on the outside, and now we see that the highest point here and the highest point here are about the same place. So that's going to be our starting point. Now we want to move it to the right, so this one is about 0.68, so let's just say 0.7 for this one. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So we're on the inside here, we want to move to the right, so you would think that you do plus 0.7, right? Moving in the positive direction. Problem is, it's actually counterintuitive, so that 0.7 we actually need to subtract. Okay. Now, those are lined up pretty good. We'll fine-tune this a little bit better, but this is too wide, right? So we have two options. We either multiply by a big number or we multiply by a small number. So if we multiply by 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 10, we see that it's getting skinnier, and so that's good. So we want to keep that trend. Alright, now we can zoom in a little bit better. I keep zooming the wrong way. Okay. Alright, we can see that the top was a little bit off, right? So I need to move it down and to the left a little bit. So if I want to go down, I'm going to say like 12.5. Okay, that was pretty good. And if I want to move it to the left, I need this number a little bit smaller, so maybe 0.6. Okay, that was too much, so 0.65. Alright, that's getting pretty good. I think I need to move it up a little bit more, so I'm going to change this to a 6. And I think that's pretty good. It's not perfect. Maybe could move to the right a little bit more. Maybe change this 0.5 to 0.6. I don't know, maybe it needs to go up a little bit. It's hard to say. Now it looks like it needs to go left. So, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll just call it good right here. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take this equation and put it in your spreadsheet somewhere. So we can just put it under this, I guess. And that did not transfer very well. Okay. So you can screenshot it or you can just try to type it in. But we want to take this somehow and move it over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out, put this over here like this like this, and I'm just going to type it in. So y equals negative 15x minus 0.65, and then squared plus 12.7. Okay, so that's just for reference. Now, we were given this equation previously using Google Sheets, and so I want to test how close we are if we just type that one in. So it's 6.17 plus 19.9x, and then it says plus and negative, so I'm just going to say minus 15.2x squared, and that's pretty good. We see, we can turn off our data for a second. We can look at this. We can see that's pretty close. Okay, so we did a good job. We guessed it pretty well, and those two equations are roughly equivalent. They're a tiny bit off, but they're about the same. So if you need additional help with this, please come to Math Lab. Until then, calculator.